Hello and welcome, Neumont University students and beyond. I'm Sky, and I will be bringing you yet another Splatoon game today. I believe that this is the last Splatoon game of this season, if I am not mistaken. And we will be fighting grand finals for third place here. Our first map and mode should be Splat Zones on Mahi Mahi. I hate Mahi Mahi personally. It's kind of like a splash pad. I don't know how to describe it. You got all these like bumper areas you can't paint, so there's just like hard to move through, hard to play around. And for those who might not be informed on what Splat Zones is, it's kind of like King of the Hill, except you have to paint the hill to be King of the Hill. And then when you have enough paint on the hill, you'll start taking down a point total. If you have the most points at the end, or if you get through all 100, you will be the winner. Should be getting into this any time now. Kind of just waiting for them to ready up here. I believe we are against PSU White today, and I heard the vines whispering in my ear that Neumont has done a little bit of research into PSU White, asking their prior opponents what has been going on. And they've been trying to plan around it, trying to play something into this. Should be, again, getting into this any time now. We saw Neumont have a really nice run in the normal bracket, going, I think, undefeated in the normal bracket. Found a nice way into their playoffs. I think they won their first playoffs game and then lost their second one, unfortunately, to... can't remember the name of the team that they lost to. But now they are fighting for third. Hopefully they can still get that podium spot. Once again, I'm kind of just sitting here waiting for the game to get started. From, again, the Vines, they've been speaking to me. They've been whispering in my ear. I believe they have a very nice shot player that's their ace. And is really good at planting bombs, according to the Vine. The Vine that whispers in my ear, of course. And so a lot of secondary play will be heavy on their team, playing around all of their splat bombs, their auto bombs, their secondaries that they can get out there and just find some nice picks on Neumont with. And we've seen, I can't remember if it was A team, but I know we saw B team struggle a lot with secondary spam. And I know that when I was a part of A team, I struggled a lot with secondary spam. It's so hard to get into. It's so hard to find a way through, and just, it's such a difficult game to play around. So hopefully Neumont's preparation has paid off and they will be able to find what they need to find this game. 50 more seconds are on our countdown here until we get into this game. If people are ready up, we will be in there sooner than that, but I am very excited to see how this game ends up going. Let's see if I can go read the Vine a little bit more. Looks like they also have an Octo player, and they're very scary and will shark Neumont. I believe it. We've seen Neumont get sharked. I think the last game they ended up getting sharked a number of times, and that was a part of the problem that ended up happening. Hello, Kegster? Kegster 0808. Hello. Welcome. Getting into the game in 10 seconds now. And once that happens, I will be able to show you the Neumont Splatoon gameplay. Kind of crazy. Let's go, Llamas. I believe in you. We could still get the podium. All right, getting right into it here. Well, let's figure out if Neumont is left or right. They're left. All right, yeah, we see Neumont's normal setup here. They have that... oh, my lord. My brain does not work. They have their splatling gun, they have their blaster, and they have their brush, which is normal. And then this gun, which I always forget the name of every single time. See an arrow spray, a bucket, a splatter shot, and a pencil on PSU's team here. Pretty strong setup from them. And they're immediately getting into this lead here. We see that Booyah Bomb coming down onto the middle there. They're trying to catch Rays off on the side, but they cannot quite get enough damage as Neumont is looping back in. They're back on this point. They've made sure to paint enough. We see those whales come out. They managed to get 2 off the whales. Can they find a third? Big picks for Neumont there. Those whales just providing enough space and ability for Neumont to push up that they managed to get 2-3 there. Albie pushes up and finds a pick on that pen, going down herself. While Nova is just trying not to go down here. You see those strikes come out, plus a Booyah Bomb just absolutely destroying Nova on Neumont's team. Looks like PSU has repainted the zone. Neumont at a very funny number there. Trying to just find their way back on, find their way to stop PSU from getting the lead, but it looks like PSU is going to secure that lead there. Neumont once again just trying to regroup, trying to find a good opportunity there. Blaster goes down once again as the water lowers. That Booyah Bomb coming out, gonna go right on top of our Splatling gun, does not find anything. Albie goes down in the back of Neumont's area there as Nova is just trying to shark it out. PSU maintains good control as Neumont pops Crab up top there. Can't really find much outside of space from it as PSU uses their specials to keep the zone painted. Neumont finds a 2-for-2 trade as they're trying to paint the zone. They do manage to find it in the end there, getting a nice paint and gray score, making sure that they're not completely out of the game yet. PSU quickly retakes the point, and Albie is just once again trying to shark, trying to find a good chance to find a pick because their blaster is yet again just down. They got picked off. Albie doesn't quite trade with the brush. Ooh, bucket does go down. Neumont and PSU trades 2-for-2. Our Splatling gun pops Crab once again to try to paint this point, but they might get out-painted. No, they do manage to find point once again, putting those gray points onto PSU. Albie trying to push up, trying to find some nice picks off of these ledges as PSU is forced back. Our blaster goes down once again. We see the missiles come out. Do they find anything off the missiles? Looks like they do manage to get one off the missiles, but with Albie going down, it's a 1-for-1 as PSU repaints the zone. Our blaster, once again, just going down, unfortunately. Not really finding much value there. I just cannot remember the name of the weapon, unfortunately. Goes down as well. S-shot? Something. I just can't. My brain no work. This bucket trying to ledge camp and doing it a little bit more successfully finds Albie there as they're running out of gray points here. Neumont needs to paint the zone. They put a stamp on zone to try to find the paint. They do manage to flip it, putting a bunch more gray points back on, but PSU immediately reflips it with their specials once again. We see Albie find a pick on one from PSU, trying to go in and find another. Gets half of that person, but could not quite find it all. Killer Whale's coming out here, trying to get someone out with this, but just barely manages to trade. Looks like PSU is trying to find a flip here, but our blaster is trying to hold out. Runs into that, but lives on a pixel of HP as Neumont is still all up. They repaint the zone once again as they are just trying to find a pick. They find the arrow spray as they are just trying to live, trying to make sure that PSU cannot keep this paint. And they are succeeding so far. Albie and this blaster are pushing forward, trying to find a nice pick. They pick off PSU Kara there. That arrow spray, once again, they're just pushed up and in this back zone here, trying to make sure that PSU has no opportunity. That bomb coming out there does find the blaster, but Albie is still on top of this point. That Reef Slider comes out and just destroys 3 from Neumont, unfortunately. We see a drop in there, but it's going to get called out and immediately taken down once again. Neumont down a blaster, down 2 of their players. They are going to have to make a big play if they want to just not lose this game here. 30 seconds left on the clock. I think they have at least time. I think they have the time for at least one more push here, so they really have to make it count. They have definitely chunked out this lead, considering that PSU has been on 17 most of the game, but now that they're out of gray points, they're going to just barely before they run out of gray points. Neumont flips the zone, making sure that they don't gain any more of a lead. Taking out 2 with Albie here. What a great play from Neumont. Tries to find a third, but cannot quite get it. As long as this blaster and Neumont can hold out, they have a real opportunity to flip this game here. Looks like this blaster is just trying to stop them from coming down. We see the Splatling gun in that shot trying to just stop them, but special comes onto the zone, does not quite flip it as Neumont holds further and further. 18, 17, 16 for the win. What a great game from Neumont. That is exactly the type of play that I'm looking to see from them. We've seen it in the past, especially in those preseason games. Neumont likes to play it on the edge. They go out early, but they do manage to find those kills in the end, getting exactly what they need. Those close games are exactly the kind of gameplay that we have been seeing from Neumont this season. Well, with the first round being run through and over, it looks like our next map and mode, if I can pull it up here, will end up being Mako Mart Tower Control. I believe this is still best of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so it is first of 5, meaning that there is a decent chunk of games left in this set. Anything could happen. But with Tower Control Mako Mart, I'm feeling okay about it. Just based on the way Neumont played that game, I do think that they have a real chance at taking over with Tower Control. My issue is if they get rolled at the start of the game like they did that time and let them break through their first 2 checkpoints, it's going to be a hard game to come back from. And we've seen how hard those games can be to come back from in the past, but they have managed to pull through with those crazy just end of game big double triple kill plays like they pulled off there. It's going to be really interesting to see how this next game ends up going, especially if we end up seeing any swaps. I do know that the other team, I believe, has the ability to change off that pen into an E-Leader, and E-Leader, with all that range, can definitely take some major advantage of those stacks on Mako Mart. Mako Mart is one of my favorite maps as a Carbon Deco main myself. Those edges are very, very helpful. We saw Albi trying to take advantage of them in Mahi Mahi, but could not quite take nearly as much advantage as that Bucket player was taking. And just that was leading to such a disparity in their plays. But when that Blaster finally managed to live for a second and get the kills that they needed, they did really just roll through and find everything that they wanted there, slowly but surely. Looks like we are waiting on one more player to ready up here. Once that is done, I can bring you more of this wonderful, wonderful gameplay. What a close game that one was, though. Just some wonderful, wonderful play. Oh, wow. My throat's still a little bit shot from Friday, where I casted the Frex Smash game for 2 hours. That was a crazy, crazy game. My throat started going like less than halfway through, but I just kept on pushing, and eventually made it to the end. Much like I'm hoping Neumont can do here and now. Woo, yeah, we love tying together our ideas. Looks like that person has readied up, so we will be getting into this game now. I think Neumont will still remain the left team here. And I am right. Unlike Neumont, who is the left team. All right, we see... Yep, I was right. That E-Leader's coming out here. They can just make such an advantage here. We see a different Blaster being played. Last time Neumont swapped off to this Blaster, they started playing really well, getting all kinds of kills left and right, just absolutely flipping the game, almost reversing the matchup, but could not quite find it out. We see Neumont trade 1-for-1 there as Kara is over there trying to shark, trading 1-for-1 once again. Neumont just slightly behind on the respawns. We see those whales coming out, trying to catch people out here as this Blaster's just pushed forward and on these ledges. Albi trying to shark, trying to find some nice kills, but manages to rush in and find one there. Neumont going 2 down, though. 3 down, unfortunately. Albi's choosing to back. That makes sense. 3 down, you don't really want to keep pushed up. You're not really going to make that play into the enemy team there. Albi gets pinged for a second, but it doesn't seem that they fully notice that she is in their back lines with some killer whales once again, tossing them out, trying to get some people displaced here as they do lose the tower off of it. Albi gets caught out on the stack, and Neumont gets wiped out pretty early in this game here. Neumont found a break on their checkpoint without a wipeout, so I'm not going to be surprised to see if they find a break and some lead off of this one. Neumont's trying to find their way back on, but once again, it's going to be some tough work. We see our Blaster jumping into a triple strike there, and just unfortunate. Krakenmare 77 raiding with party 3. Thank you, Krakenmare, for the raid. We are watching some collegiate gameplay here. We see our Blaster once again going down, this time to their splatter shot, as Neumont is just trying to make a push here. They do manage to extend their lead a little bit further as they are just trying their best, but 3 down, and they're basically wiped once again. They're trying to watch this brush from PSU, trying to stop them from getting forward, getting up, and it does look like they push them back onto the objective here. Albi, I think, trying to loop around this side. platform here, trying to find some kills. 2 down from PSU as Neumont is going to try to take this lead and push it into some nice advantage once again. They lose the tower. Killer Whale's coming out, pinging a lot of people across the map. Albie runs into someone and immediately runs back out, but gets caught on her way out. Looks like our blaster tries to triple splat there, but dies halfway up, unfortunately, to that Dreadringer. We have a Crab on the tower, getting us just a little bit more of an advantage there once again. We have 52 points to their 66. Not a crazy lead, but definitely a tiny, tiny lead there. We see that Reef Slider coming out, does not manage to find anyone, but 2 go down on Neumont anyway, and it's just Albie, once again, caught out on this stack. Popping Kraken on that point, trying to kick them off, trying to make sure that they don't get the opportunity to get an advantage, but it looks like soon enough they might get lead as long as they can keep hopping back on the point. 52-53, they just barely managed to stop them from getting lead. Albie taking out 3 people there with the help of her team. What a wonderful, wonderful shutdown from Albie there on PSU's push, leaving it at a 1-point lead in Neumont's favor. Just barely kicking them off in time. Neumont pushing up onto this tower, managed to find 3, trading 2 for 3 there. Raze and Aeolus are hopping on this tower, trying to stop them. Aeolus goes down as Raze is going to go ahead and hop back on in his place, trying to keep up, but that bucket is just kicking them off. We see our blaster go down once again as Albie tries to push up on the point, gets called out by their brush. Kara pushing up, trying to find Raze, does manage to find Raze, gonna try to find Aeolus here for a double, finds 2, do they get the 3rd one there? Will they push up and find the advantage they need? It's just Albie versus the world once again. Unfortunately, they get called out from behind. Can they run fast enough to live? They try, but they do not manage to make it as PSU now has the lead. They've made it to this next checkpoint. Neumont goes down once again. Kara goes into their backlines with that Zipcaster as they almost break through this next checkpoint. Hopping off, they do manage to get through this checkpoint, and it is looking bad for Neumont as they have broken that checkpoint. Neumont's just kind of in a bad position. They have 1 player up, 38 seconds left as they're approaching the final checkpoint. Aeolus goes down there as we are going to see our blaster try to come out here and find something, but they just cannot quite get it. We see that Dreadringer use their rift into Neumont there, as Neumont does manage to hop on the tower and take them off the checkpoint, but with 17 seconds left in the game, they basically need to stay on the tower the entire rest of this game if they want to get a win, and it's not looking like that is going to happen as PSU just keeps on hopping back on. They break through the last checkpoint, and I think that's going to be it here for Neumont. All PSU has to do is just kick them off a single time and hop on themselves, and with how much ability they have to do that, I would be extremely surprised if they don't manage. As I was saying, they managed to do that, and that brings it to a 1-1 game, Neumont PSU. We saw some wonderful, wonderful play from both sides there, but PSU just managed to stack their advantage so hard in the end there. They just could not, Neumont just could not come back from how much of a deficit they were in. They got 3 down, and it was just Albie up, and then those 3 came out and tried to deal with Neumont and just could not find what they needed and ended up staggering over and over again until eventually PSU just broke their last checkpoint. And what are you going to do then? 5 seconds left on the clock, all of your checkpoints broken. You'd need a miracle to make back that kind of game. Not to say that we have not seen those kinds of games won before. It's just tough situation to try to come back from. Very, very fun to see it when it happens. It's just not what I'm expecting to see. That being said, I am going to be waiting for us to get into our next game. It should be Rainmaker on Museum. That's the funny spinner map. You have a spinner in the center of the map that goes and it opens up different ways to jump onto the middle of the map. I don't like Museum. Rainmaker, however, is a fun game mode. It's kind of like Capture the Flag, except you run the flag back to your you run the flag and you just keep on like running it, but the flag is like a bubble that has a gun in it, and then you pop the bubble and pick up the gun, and you're running the gun, not a flag. And the gun is kind of bad. You have to charge it up to get this big explosion shot that's really slow, and you can often just kind of dodge. But if you get it placed in the right spot, it kind of does kill, but it's definitely not a good gun. You run it far enough, you break a checkpoint, and then you have to pop the bubble again. You run it to the checkpoint after that, and you win the game. If not, then whoever has the most points at the end wins. should be getting into that anytime now. They have the team set up. I'm just waiting for them to start it up. Gonna take a sip of my nice indescript brown liquid. Yummy. We love indescript brown liquid. Speaking of indescript brown liquid, we are powered by Lenovo. Neumont uses a lot of the Lenovo machines. We are currently streaming off of a Lenovo machine ourselves, and we often like to mention that we are indeed powered by Lenovo. All right, looks like we are readying up for this next game. What do I want to see from Neumont here? I think that they kind of just need to make sure not to take these crazy plays. Their blaster just keeps on going down out of nowhere, finding nothing. Like, play around your team. Try to play with Albie. Albie's finding all these crazy side pushes and almost killing one or two people very often. If the blaster's there, both of those people are dead. Like, I'm sorry, but if they've been pinged by Albie, it doesn't take a direct anymore. It takes like 10 points, a partial indirect, and they're just gone. If you can play around that, then you can definitely get the nice wins. PSU raid from our other third place set in D6. Oh, nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you. PSU just did really well in that last match. You guys play really fun gameplay. I love to watch your brush. Your brush does a lot of cool things with that like triple there. It was crazy. Good work. Yeah, good luck to both teams for sure. 2 of their 4 players are readied up. All of Neumont is readied up. We are 15 seconds to the to the next game. Cough, PSU, go PSU White. Cough, go Neumont Llamas. Woohoo, go Llamas. All right, right as PSU readies up, Neumont unreadies, and we take it to time as we are finally getting into this next game here. Loading into this, we're going to see if the teams are looking very similar. Go Neumont indeed. Go PSU as well. I just want some fun, interesting games to cast over. Looks like we have the exact same comp from Neumont and a very similar, if not the same comp from PSU as well. We saw that E-Leader putting in a lot of work for positioning and like locations for them as well, as I was mentioning in the pregame, might be happening. Yeah, both teams are kind of just trying to fight for some paint here, trying to get around these places. Nova called out once again, just kind of pushing way too far up for what they're trying to do. We see that Reefside are trying to go out, but they get shut down by our Splatling there as Neumont is trying to push forward, trying to find these kills. We see missiles coming out as Neumont picks up the Rainmaker, jumps it over the platform, and almost makes it in. That would have been a big play for Neumont, but they do not quite get it out as Neumont goes 3 down. Albie trying to catch out their brush, gonna jump back to spawn. It makes sense. I think that just based off of everything we've seen, yeah, they should break that checkpoint there. We see Kraken coming out, gonna find one from Neumont there as the other is trying to run from the Kraken. They have this bucket and a bunch of their people just in Neumont's base trying to watch out, but that Killer Whale does manage to just find a kill on its own. Great play from Albie. 2 down on PSU as the Rainmaker has now been set down with 41 points towards Neumont's side. Albie trying to get in their back lines, trying to find some nice kills here. Kraken coming out once again. Gonna call out their brush. Does manage to find a kill off of it. Will Neumont be able to push forward this Rainmaker and find the kills that they need? Albie tries to push forward again, but the Rainmaker goes down to PSU before it can get up there. Looks like Neumont is going to pick it up once again and try to get it into the checkpoint. Will they be able to find what they need? Doesn't look like PSU can stop it. Neumont manages to break the checkpoint, but they get a wipeout in exchange. Not a great time to be Neumont there. That wipeout will be big news for PSU as they're going to reclaim a lot of space off of that. This Rainmaker trying to find some nice kills, but Albie getting in the back lines, finding 2 from PSU, kicking this Rainmaker off the top. That's 3 for Neumont once again. What a great play. Can Kara manage to pull it out for PSU, though? That's the real question here. Looks like they're sharking it out. They're trying to find 1. They do manage to get 1, 2. Can they get a 3rd from Neumont? Looks like they go for it, but they don't manage to find it. 3 still go down from Neumont there. I'm not sure if all 3 were picked off from Kara's perspective. Rainmaker resets as Neumont tries to bomb Kara off the top there. That rolling bomb strat can be really powerful if you do it right, but didn't quite get the timing set perfect there. Kara does go down, trading 1-for-1 with Neumont there as PSU is just trying to claim some space, trying to kick Neumont out once again. We see the E-leader go down as triple strikes come out on the Crab. They do not manage to find the Crab, but they do find Raze in the backlines there. Albi also goes down as PSU now has a 2-player lead. They do manage to shark for another 2 kills there. What a great play from PSU as they manage to take down 3 from Neumont, pushing that Rainmaker further forward once again. Raze going down in the backlines there. Neumont is starting to stagger. They really need to regroup and find a nice pick or 2 on PSU if they want to gain an advantage here. Once again, Albi pushing forward through all of that. Does manage to find 1, does find 2 with those killer whales. What a great play from Albi, shutting down the push from PSU. Albi pushing all the way to PSU's backlines. Gets called out by, I believe, maybe the E-leader? I'm not sure who got that kill, but it did manage to stop Albi there. Dread goes down mid-air, trying to catch out that Rain by Neumont's Blaster. Neumont's Blaster finds yet another kill there. What a great double for Neumont here as they're trying to push all the way up. Kind of unfortunate. They got hit by the wave breaker there. As Neumont is now 2 down once again, they really do need to close this lead if they want a real chance at winning this game. Sorry for the game audio being delayed. That is just the unfortunate circumstance of our capture card. It has a chunk of delay between the audio and visuals for some reason, and I have not been able to fix it, sadly. The Octo and Splatling Gun managed to trade there as Neumont and PSU are just pushed forward. Albi managing to find a kill over the ledge there once again. Triple Splat coming out, forcing them out of position. They have this Rainmaker up and pushed forward, trying to get it out here, but 2 go down from Neumont once again. Neumont finds a pick on 1 from PSU, but cannot manage to find anything else here. They do push it forward, but it's a tie for points. Unfortunately for Neumont, they really need to find this pop. They need to pick it up and run even 1 point forward. They managed to get it just a few points forward for the lead with 15 seconds left on the clock. PSU needs to find a big push on Neumont if they want to win this round here. Albi's going behind to try to find someone here. Oh no! That might be it for Neumont here as they 3 died to that Kraken and PSU gets the lead. What a big play for PSU right at the end there. Albi trying to loop around just a little bit too slow, not expecting their team to win. What a great score to end on too. How funny. Yeah, great play from both sides. Once again, we saw the game be favored towards PSU most of that game. Neumont just barely managed to eke out a push right at the end, but then the disadvantage that they got from the wipe that essentially happened after they pushed that forward led into PSU being able to push really far up. Albi tried to go around, but 3 from her team went down to a Kraken, and that's just unfortunate circumstances. I find this matchup funny for you. You're a Neumont student from the PSU area. Oh, yeah, that's really interesting. We've had a few other games kind of like that. I know that we had a player from Hawaii that was helping me, not helping me, sorry, that was on the team fighting Hawaii. And it was very funny. I think that was a Valorant game, and the player was Semi. If you know Semi. Semi is no longer with us. They dropped out of Neumont. I think. I haven't seen them, at least. If you've seen Semi, say hi to me. For me. What's the next game? The next game will be Clamblitz on Umami Ruins. Clamblitz is a really interesting game mode for those who have not played Splatoon. The closest thing I can describe it as is basketball. You have to run around the map and pick up clams. Clams are kind of like a token that you can use to form a ball. You get 8 of those, and then you get a ball. If you throw the ball into the goal, it opens, and you can just throw regular clams in. Ball's worth 20 points. Clams are worth 3. If you noticed, 8 clams, if you times it by 3, 8, 16, 24, is not the same number of points as you get from a ball. So clams are worth more for some reason. I don't know. Don't ask me. I just work here. That being said, eventually the barrier will fall back down and be invincible for a second and then reopen to be broken. Score 100 points or not score 100 points. Score all of your 100 points, including gray points, if you end up not winning it in one push, which is very often the case. And then you win the game. If not, whoever has the most at the end will end up winning. Going to be really interesting to see how this goes. I know that we have had some issues on Umami Ruins in the past, but we have still eked out our wins on it. Just waiting on 3 more seconds for the game to get started here. 1-0. And we are getting into it. Clam Blitz on Umami Ruins. Yeah. Looks like teams, if not exactly the same, are relatively the same. I think they are exactly the same, though. Again, it's been working out for, oh my goodness, PSU, so why not keep the train rolling? Looks like they are trying to push up, trying to push forward. They do manage to trade 1-for-1 with our Splatling gun there as Neumont forms a ball. Neumont finding another pick on PSU, trying to push up, trying to push forward, trying to get these opportunities out here. Killer Whaling, just one player there, kind of crazy work, trying to just force that one person out. You see Albi force their way in, but without a ball, didn't really end up doing much. We do manage to break their thing, but we get wiped in the process, which could lead to an unfortunate circumstance for Neumont here, assuming that PSU manages to take advantage of it. Doesn't look like they can take as much advantage as they would hope for, but Neumont has an early lead as it stands right now. PSU has essentially 2 balls up. They have the pity and the ball that they formed. Z-Leader's trying to catch Albi out, but looks like Albi is trying to shark their way forward, find those kills. Albi gets pinged by that wave breaker and unfortunately goes out there as Neumont now is a player down. 2 players down, but they do trade 1 there. Not quite 2 down. PSU, once again, they now have 3 balls, essentially, worth of points up and ready, assuming that they can get them all in. We see them take out 2 from Neumont here. This is a great opportunity for them to try to push forward. We're going to see a Reef to open this up as they score 2 balls in 1, wiping out 2 from Neumont. 3 of them go down as it is just their brush left. They trade 2 and find 1. Albi's going to immediately try to push forward, try to form a ball, try to just immediately flip it if they can, but I don't think that they'll have the economy to quite do that. Doesn't look like they did. They do form a ball. Neumont now has 2 balls, but a decent chunk of a point disadvantage here. Looks like Neumont is just, once again, trying to find those picks, trying to find those opportunities, trying to find their way in, but the way that PSU is playing, they are not making it easy for Neumont to do. Albi almost getting called out there as Neumont's blaster gets pretty deep in, but called out themselves. Neumont scores 1 ball. They're trying to get this other one in, but doesn't look like they'll get the opportunity to even try. I think Neumont picked up their pity there. Yeah, they did. Meaning their pity is essentially lost, unfortunately. PSU picks up their pity. They have 1 ball up and also another pity now. Another opportunity to score a bunch of points. Looks like 2 down from Neumont. This is Penn's opportunity. Once again, they reef all the way onto the point. They're going to try to pick up that ball, but they go down just before they get the opportunity to. Looks like Neumont is trying their best to defend. 2 of them go down. This blaster is trying to come back, trying to shark out this ball. Can they do it? Can they stop it? The ball deforms as Neumont does, in fact, stop this push for now. What a great defense from Neumont there. A wonderful attempt from PSU as well. We see Triple Spot coming out there, not quite finding anyone. Neumont getting sharks and missiles out here. Just a bunch of displacement, a bunch of paint. Trying their best to reclaim the zone. Albi getting called out there, going down. Nova finding a pick on 1, trying to get forward, trying to find what they can. Gets out of the way for that reef slider, but ends up going down to the secondary hit from that Dreadringer. You see Kraken coming out once again, gonna try to paint a lot of zone. Trying to call Albi out here as Albi just runs all the way back and almost scores just a wild ball there. We love watching Albi just try to make those deep, run it in plays. It works sometimes, and it can definitely lessen the disadvantage that you have in a situation like this. As it stands right now, Neumont needs to score a decent chunk of points. They need to score 2 full balls, maybe more. No, 2 full balls if they want to win this here. We see Crabs come out as Neumont has the economy for 1 ball. They're just looking around for the clams. They don't have a ball up. They have the picks they need. They finally get a ball. Will they get the points that they need? They do get a couple of clams in. They manage to find the lead just in the ending minute here. As long as they can keep this lead, keep this advantage, they will have a real opportunity to win this. But 3 of them go down as Nova is just left here to defend with Rays. managing to respawn before they get a chance. That Reef Slider immediately taking Nova out. Albie pushing forward, managed to find a kill on one of them. That bomb not quite finding Albie, as Neumont now has a decent chance at just defending this. PSU has the 2 balls that they would need to win this. They take Albie out. It's just 2 defending the point. One of the balls goes in. They have the barrier down. Can they find the second ball? They get a ball in and find the lead. Neumont is in a bad situation, as they're going to have to find a lot of points, a lot of lead if they want an opportunity to win this. But PSU just keeps on scoring these little clams, increasing the distance. Neumont needs a ball. They're going to get pity, but they need more. They need as much as they can get. Reyes picks up the ball here as Albie goes down. They're trying to get the clams together to find another ball, but it's looking bad for Neumont. Their ball carrier goes down. 3 of them are down. Aeolus is the last one remaining. Tries to push forward. They go down. The jump from Albie goes down. It is a wipeout from Neumont, and I believe that is game for PSU. What a wonderful, wonderful round there from both teams. Once again, back and forth. Crazy plays. PSU just barely playing better. Just playing more cohesive. Not letting the picks get them down. Not letting that disadvantage spiral. And finding exactly what they needed off of it. Yeah. Once again, just crazy, crazy plays from both sides. Insane work from PSU. They're managing to find exactly what they needed. They played back, they got the economy that they needed, and they waited for Neumont to make a mistake. And when Neumont made that mistake, they took heavy advantage of it. They found 2, and they were like, yeah, let's just run 2 balls and like 10 clams, and why not? And they managed it. They got it down to just 2 from Neumont and found everything that they could have wanted. Great work from PSU there. Our next map and mode is going to be Splat Zones on Barnacle and Dime. What do I want to see from Neumont here? Once again, don't make those mistakes. Don't try to push out when you're in a defense situation. Albie and I think our Splatling gun tried to take a lot more space than we necessarily needed to. We have the tools to kind of camp them out, and trying to take that space is going to get you killed. And when you get killed, you're down a player. When you're down a player, you're down 3. Yeah, we're gonna get into this next game anytime now. Gonna take another sip of my Indescript brown liquid as we do. And hope to, find some nice games into the future of this. I believe that leaves us at 2 more games for PSU to win this. I think it's 4 more for Neumont. It's still definitely anybody's set with how close these games have been going. It could really slide either way, just depending on how the players are feeling in the moment. We saw that Blaster from Neumont make a couple of misplays with their ult and try to just like dive into some heavy stuff there again. And it wasn't really working out, but when they can make it work, it goes really well for Neumont. When they can find the picks that they're trying to find, it does end up working out. They just need a little bit more consistency to get it to really work. We have 3 players unready, 30 seconds left on the clock before we get into this game, and it has just been some wonderful gameplay from both sides the entire time so far. I'm very excited to watch this next match. Getting into it literally in 15 seconds now. By the way, the stream is on a 90-second delay for anybody who might not have what am I even saying? Anybody that might not have been here before, the stream is on a 90-second delay. If you say something in the chat, I can respond to it, and you won't hear me for 90 seconds. All right, we are getting into it here. Splat Zones, Barnacle, and Dime. Looks like it is the same setup from Neumont, same setup. Ooh, no, not quite. We see Dapples coming out from their Brush player here. Pretty interesting choice. I do like me some Dapples gameplays, so I would not be surprised to see them pull off some really interesting stuff. I believe the team that knocked Neumont out of the main playoffs bracket also played Dapples. Albie rushing in, finding 2 kills right off the bat. Neumont getting some nice paint down on the zone, immediately taking an early lead here. What a great play from Neumont. Albie just pushing forward, finding everything that they could have possibly wanted. Another 1-for-1. Albie managed to trade 2 for 2 as it's just both of Neumont's backliners versus PSU here. They're down to 65 points, 60 points on the objective. We see Rays getting pinged here by the Wavebreaker twice, unfortunately, as PSU does manage to flip the zone. Albi trying to find one, does manage to get one here, but Neumont is 2 down once again, managing to find a pick on one of them, I believe, there. Trying to stop this from happening, trying to stop this from going down. Albi's just sitting forward, trying to find what they can. Our blaster once again just going down on the side there, not managing to find anything, unfortunately for Neumont. Looks like PSU is going to find their way into a lead unless Neumont can find something big here. We do see Crab pop, but it's not going for paint, it's going for kills, and not finding them at all. Oh, I just ow, my throat. See that Reef going out behind, almost finding Aeolus there as the zone remains in PSU's favor. With 30 points left, Neumont needs to find some paint or they will be in a heavy disadvantage here. It's already down to 20. We saw them pull this back before, but it's not easy to do. It's down to 10. If Neumont cannot find their way onto this point, it will just be automatically in favor of PSU. They do manage to find the paint to take it to neutral, and they take out enough of PSU to flip the zone. But with 2 points remaining, they basically have to win this game fully, outright, if they want to win this game. A lot of great points on PSU's side here, so it's going to be hard for them to get those remaining 2 points out and down. But with how Neumont keeps on basically wiping out, it's going to be hard for Neumont to pull it off. Almost finding a double there from Albi once again, just not quite finding what they need. Ray's going down there on that top bank and just not managing to find what they need. Blaster once again trying to go out and find some crazy plays, but they're playing a slower weapon than what they're playing like. It's just, they're not playing cohesive with the weapon that they're choosing. Those plays can technically work out, but the way that they've been going, it's just not the right move here for Neumont. 8 points left in the great points for PSU, as it looks like it's just going to be a PSU favorite game. Yeah, what a wonderful wipe from PSU. One of the faster games we have seen in this bracket so far. That leaves PSU at match point and Neumont in a bad spot here, having to win the next 4 games if they want to win this set. Once again, wonderful gameplay from both sides there, as we just saw PSU kind of do what I said that they've been doing really well so far. They find the picks that they need, they find the picks that they want, and they just roll it and roll it and roll it into Neumont. And Neumont just doesn't really know what to do about it. They end up trying to make these crazy plays and just lead into PSU getting a further lead than they already had. Looks like our last map is not our last map. Our last map if PSU wins. Sorry, guys. Sorry. The last map if PSU wins will be Tower Control on Inkblot Art Academy. I really like Inkblot. It is a smaller map, but the way that the smaller maps and modes have been going, it looks like that's going to be PSU favored because Neumont has not been dealing well with those staggers. That being said, it is still anyone's game. 70 seconds on the clock, or if 5 players ready up, we will be into this match anytime now. Kind of just waiting for them to roll through. Anybody that might not be too familiar with Splatoon, Tower Control is essentially your push game mode. If you've played Overwatch or any other hero shooter, you basically have like a payload in the middle of the map. You hop on it, it goes, it hits a checkpoint, it breaks through it, it hits another checkpoint, it breaks through it, makes it to the end, you win. If not, whoever got it furthest wins. All right. 35 seconds left on the clock. Once again, it's kind of just the same things that I'm needing to see from Neumont here. That blaster needs to stop making these crazy plays. You're running into 3 people as a blaster, and they're all in different locations. One of them's up here, one of them's out here, and then one of them's right next to you. Like, what's going to happen? You're dead every time. Maybe you find one, but you're dead every time. We've seen a lot of really good play from PSU, though. We've seen their Brush and Dapples there just go in and find those nice triple-double kills on Neumont and just completely, essentially wiping out every game plan that Neumont wants to pull off. Oftentimes just not letting them really play through. Once again, it is match point in favor of PSU. They win this game, they win the set. getting into it here. Albie is immediately going to run off the side and try to find a nice pick off PSU early, assuming that they can. But it's kind of risky gameplay. They don't manage to hit the thing on the first try, and now they've been spotted. They don't want to try to run up there anymore. Our blaster changes back to Luna. Makes sense. It has not been working out for them, unfortunately. Neumont takes the tower, but our brush goes down as we are trying to push our blaster out over this side here. Doesn't manage to find that flick as 3 go down from Neumont. Just our blaster remains as they try to push back. Early lead for Neumont, but without breaking the checkpoint, it basically does not mean anything. Their brush picks off Albie immediately as they drop out from spawn. And they're just continuing to try to shark out where Neumont might want to drop once again. They have Zipcaster, so they can find a nice advantage off of it if they really want to. They spot someone off of this wave breaker as they do cast out that Zipcaster, trying to find some nice picks. They manage to go in and find Aeolus. They're trying to find another Zipcaster, pulls them out before they get the chance. 2 down on PSU as Neumont is trying to push the point back. See a nice pick on our blaster from that E-leader there. What a wonderful snipe. Albie's in their backlines trying to disrupt, trying to play the game that they want to play, but PSU is trying not to let it happen. They managed to send 2 at Albie and take out Albie, just trading 1. Another goes down from PSU as Neumont breaks through that checkpoint. They're trying to find a lead, trying to find an advantage as we see a jump in here from PSU. Looks like Neumont's push has been stopped. Albie goes down on the side there once again to Kara, as PSU is just going to start pushing this back once again. Aeolus is their last remaining member as they're starting to come back up again, but Kara is just pushing up and forward. They're trying to find these nice positions to Shark, and they cast that Zipcaster once they get it, immediately getting Aeolus almost out. They do jump out, but that Zipcaster finds it on Albie, finds it on Nova for a double. They hop on the objective. They're going to try to go in and find more, I think, in just a minute here. We see this Dreadringer as well, just pushing so far up. I haven't been talking about this Dreadringer enough, but they've been putting in so much work. They've been finding so many picks, and anytime Kara gets people low, they're the cleanup crew. They're there and ready. We see PSU break through that second checkpoint and are pushing it towards Neumont's last here once again, as Neumont is in a bad position. Zipcaster coming out as Kara trades with Albie in the Zipcaster. 2 down from Neumont, 2 down from PSU as the E-leader is trying to set up on this back zone here. See jumps coming in as the wave breaker comes out. Gonna try to ping Aeolus there. It does manage to find the ping as Kara is here once again up top. They take tower once again as they're gonna try to jump in on Nova. Does manage to find Nova. Tries to find Raze. Almost manages to find it. 2 down on Neumont. 1 down on PSU here as this Dreadringer is up where the brush was before. Kara's gonna get their jump in before Neumont's going to get a real opportunity. They trade 2 for 2. They trade 3 for 3. It's just the Ringer versus Raze here. As they find a wipeout on Neumont, they're going to try to hop on the point and find what they need to find here. They do the Reef Slider thing to try to get the checkpoint break, and they do manage to find it. That is big news for PSU, as Neumont is in a terrible position. They have 2 checkpoints to break if they want to even get even with PSU's score at this point. It is going to be a tough game for Neumont to play here. We see 2 specials up and ready from Neumont. We see the Tentamissiles coming out. We see this crab popped on the objective. They're trying to find everything we can. See this stamp coming out, trying to find people here. They don't manage to find any of the picks. They get a bunch of people low, but Albie's just not there to clean it up for them as they rush into 3 people and go down themselves. Albie does manage to find another one, but we trade 2 for 2 as we hop back on the objective. Tri-Strikes is going to try to find Albie here, but does not manage to quite get it. Albie trying to get up on this E-leader. Not managed to get far enough. They're just trying to shark here, trying to find a nice kill. They do run up. They're trying to get up on this E-leader. They do manage to go in and find the E-leader. 2 down on PSU. This might be Neumont's opportunity to push forward. They try to get their blaster on the point, but with those secondaries just constantly on the objective, they don't have a good opportunity to really sit on it. Albie jumps back in, trying to hop on the point herself. But again, PSU is just really trying to shut them down, trying to stop them from doing anything. Crab goes down. They find a pick on the Crab. Neumont goes 3 down. It's just Raze left as PSU doesn't manage to find a wipeout. Neumont finding 2 of PSU there. with 8 seconds left on the clock, Neumont has one last good opportunity to try to push this point, and I would be really surprised if they manage to get it all the way. Tri-Strikes comes out, and that is game in favor of PSU. Believe that that was our last game of the set. Good games to both sides. Good games to the third place winners of this season of CCA in whatever division we're in. I think like Div 8, Div 7. I'm not sure. I didn't ask. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Oh, jeez. I didn't think to ask about that. Anyways, GG's to PSU, our third place champions. GG's to Neumont. You did manage to pull out a game there. Good job, guys. Those were some wonderful games. We saw a lot of close games. That definitely could have been anyone's set with just a little bit different gameplay there. That being said, I don't think I have anything else for you guys. It has been wonderful casting this game for y'all. Wonderful seeing you guys from PCU in the chat. Always love to see people from outside of